what you want from me. I know God got me, no autopsy, no internet, moving hard copy. My grandmama still praying for me, so I can't lose. She got body.
So, for the record, what's your name?
Tiffany Groce.
Tiffany Groce. And how old are you?
40.
40. Now,
Why I have to think about that?
I don't know. Maybe that's what COVID do to you. What do you do for work?
I run a positive youth development program called Urban Gems.
Urban Gems. And what type of work is that?
I teach positive youth development program to teenagers on the south side of Columbus, where we teach inner city youth how to grow their own food on indoor tower gardens as well as outdoor gardening and raised beds.
That's what's up. Very positive stuff here in Columbus.
Yep. Southside.
How'd you get connected with that?
I was a member of Family Missionary Baptist Church. We decided to, the South Side was a very crime-filled area, and we wanted to curb the crime. And a professor at OSU, Deanna Wilkinson, partnered with us, and we began to run a garden club to keep kids out the streets. And I started volunteering with her, and it became a full-time position.
Now, recently, you were diagnosed with COVID-19, and as we know, COVID has a lot of variances to it. It has a lot of stigmas about it. There's some people who believe it's not real. Some people believe it's a poor person's disease. It's a Asian people's disease. Just from your personal experience with it, is COVID real?
COVID is very real, and I can be honest with you. I was one of those people that thought that it wasn't real. And I just went about life regularly and didn't even think about it.
Why do you think, why is it that you think people of color think that COVID may not be real?
Because I think people of color think that the government is trying to I think that the people of color thinks that the government is trying to poison us.
Yeah, so
just because of all the things that have happened in the past. And as you see, I still have a small cough from COVID, and I've been COVID free for 2 months.
2 months now. What do you remember feeling like when it first started? What do you remember?
I actually didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything. I was okay. Only reason why I got a COVID test was because my mom and my aunt begged me to get a COVID test.
So, I'm back with Miss Tiffany Groce, COVID survivor. Now, what was some of the signs you noticed when you were first diagnosed with COVID? Were there any signs?
So like I was saying earlier, I didn't really realize I was moving and functioning and doing everything normal or whatever. I'm not a person that gets sick, or not a person that lets sick hold me down. So I can say it was directly after Thanksgiving. I wasn't holding on to the COVID rules, and I had a big Thanksgiving at my house. And don't judge me. I left a pot of collard greens on the stove for 3 days after Thanksgiving. And I went to clean the pot and throw the food away, and I didn't smell anything. And as black folks that know anything about collard greens, green beans, cabbage, 2 days and sitting on the stove. Funky.
Whole house funky.
And I ain't smelled nothing.
Wow.
And that is what gave me the notion that I needed to go get tested. Because if I couldn't smell these greens that I know stink.
Yeah.
something is wrong, and that's what sent me to get tested, and I tested positive.
Do you think we're gonna get into like some of the symptoms and stuff here shortly? Do you think the president is to blame? Do you think that him not listening to this national doctor, Dr. Fauci, that we had, or do you think it's a personal thing? Do you think it's the citizens' job to advocate? I take care of you, leadership at the top, that you blame.
Personally, I don't think our community would have ever listened to the leadership that we had in place at that time.
Where, ironically, this virus and others came from. China's secrecy, deceptions, and cover-up allowed it to spread all over the world, 189 countries. And China must be held fully accountable.
So, therefore, we were going off of our own.
Yeah.
We were going off of our own, and
which is that mistrust.
Yes, we didn't trust our government, so we were going off of what he say, she say, this say, that say, or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't think our community trusted anything that he said, and he said that he was fine.
Now, in your heart of hearts, do you still feel that this is man-made? Like, just by you having it, what did you feel? Did you feel like this was something that was something you never felt before compared to all the times you've been sick, or how'd you feel?
It was different. It was very different, but I do think that it was man-made. I do think that it was something that was created.
Yeah.
And
you holding on to that?
I'm holding on to that, and I can say that's why I'm not for the vaccine.
Did you ever have a fever?
No.
No fever?
No fever.
Did you ever have the chills, the night sweats? Was it flu-like, or you just went through the taste and the loss of taste and the loss of smell?
Only thing I could say I really had was loss of taste, loss of smell, and fatigue.
Fatigue.
But besides that, I was fine.
Yeah.
I could still get up every day and do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. The only thing that stopped me from doing the things that I would normally do was because I didn't want to affect my loved ones.
No doubt.
So therefore, I stayed in the house, and I was miserable, and I wasn't nothing wrong with me. I was just tired.
What type of things did you like replenish your body with?
Kale.
Kale.
I've learned that from my program, Urban Gems, that kale is a superfruit.
No doubt.
A superfood. So I drank a lot of kale smoothies. I ate lots of fruit, lots of vegetables.
Yeah.
Chicken broth.
Has anything changed about the way you interact with people, loved ones, old acquaintances, and then, or do you still kind of say, hey, I survived it, and I'm just, because we all do different times, but are you kind of like back out there in the swing of things, or are you still kind of like, is it in your mind that you were sick before?
I'm good. I'm me. And even when I got the positive COVID result test, one thing for certain and two things for sure, I rest on my God.
No doubt.
And he's always going to have me. So at the end of the day, I'm good, and anybody around me good. Everything attached to me wins.
Now what about the shot? Let's talk about the shot. No, before we get into the shot, I want to talk about, you said you have a lingering cough.
Yes.
I've heard about people having kidney failure, liver damage, heart problems, lung problems. So, to people who are watching this, is there a lasting effect that COVID leaves that doesn't go away?
There is definitely a lasting effect that doesn't go away. I have a cough that I have not been able to get rid of, and I smoke cigarettes. So when I'm around people and I'm smoking and I'm coughing, I just tell them, "Oh, that's just my smoker's cough."
Yeah.
But not even beyond that, and I know that the cough is not my smoker's cough.
Yeah.
But not even beyond that, when I caught COVID and after catching COVID, my left knee, I started having problems within my left knee.
Wow.
I couldn't bend my left knee for over a month.
And I've been hearing about this. People having
I went,
joints, problems
I
with
couldn't bend
joints.
my left knee. I couldn't bend, my foot was swollen. And for over a month, I went and I had a ultrasound. I had a MRI.
Wow.
I had any imaging, every and all imaging that you could get. MRI, ultrasound. What's the other one?
EKG.
EKG. I've had them all,
Yeah.
and they keep telling me that they don't see anything wrong. And the only time that I've been feeling relief is when they put me on steroids, which is making me fat.
Yeah.
Like I'm not fat enough.
But that's to keep the
But that's the only thing that's keeping the pain
inflammation,
away,
the
the
pain.
inflammation away. But and so and now they're not seeing anything on any of these images that's wrong.
Okay.
So now they're blaming it on me having COVID. It's turmeric tea.
Now
That
another quick
really
question.
works.
Were you keep it 100, man? You know, like, did you go out that week? Were you at a bar? Were you at a club? You say you think it was a Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You think it was a Thanksgiving. Did anybody say they were sick after that? Did you
No.
do you remember?
I
who all
reached
was
out
there?
to everyone that was at my house.
So was it before the
And
Thanksgiving? You think?
I don't know. I really don't know. It had to have been before Thanksgiving. But I reached out to everyone at my house, and everyone that came to my house for Thanksgiving got tested, and no one tested positive.
Wow. Okay, so now
Because those were
everybody's.
my nieces and nephews. I'm not going to see my babies.
Do you think it'll be a day when this will go all the way? Or is this here? Or is it based on the vaccine? What do you think?
I think it's a day that it will go away, and I do think it's based on the vaccine. But I also think that's the reason why it's going to take a long time for it to go away, because us in our community just don't believe in the vaccine.
Now make this make sense for me. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here too. Um, all through, growing up, from the time you're an infant, time you first born to the time you go to grade school, middle school, high school, you get the MMR shots, you get your 1 year old shots. So we've been, whether or not we acknowledge it or not, the black community and anybody who's just a skeptic, period, you've been getting shots. Unless you're a foreigner, you're an immigrant, or you over here, and even if you came over here like that, you still had to get a certain amount of shots. So let's make this make sense. We got those shots, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. So does it make you a sellout? Does it make you a turncoat? What does it make you if you take this shot? Are you putting yourself at risk?
It doesn't make you anything, because you have an option to take certain shots. We take certain shots that we have to take. You have a shot that you have to take at 5 years old. You have a shot that you have to take at 7 years old. You
Yeah.
have a shot that you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not obligated to take the flu shot.
No, you're not.
I've never taken this flu shot.
Yeah.
Certain shots we're obligated to take. To me, the COVID-19 shot is just like the flu shot. I'm not obligated to take the flu shot.
No. You're not.
And I've never taken the flu shot, so I don't have to take the COVID shot.
Yeah. Now, but make this make sense to me. I mean, you're in essence taking a version of the the disease, right? When you take the shot.
Yes.
And I mean, I've heard about Hank Aaron dying a week after taking it. I heard
Yes.
about a lot of people
And
who
people
died.
getting sick from taking it, and some people say it don't bother them, and some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's all, to me, it's all on your personal preference. Do you want to take it or do you not want to take it?
Yeah.
You're not obligated. Certain shots we are obligated to take as American individuals. We are not obligated to take the flu shot nor the COVID-19. So if I don't want to take it, I don't have to take it.
Now I hear you talk about faith and spirituality a lot. Do you think about what if I catch this a second time, or it's out of your mind? Do you think like, hey, this disease or this virus, I can catch another strain and it could be worse than the last
Nope.
strain? You don't think about it at all?
Nope. Because one thing for certain and two things for sure, I am very grounded in my spirituality, and what God has for me is for me. My destiny was already written before I was here. Flat out.
Before COVID hit or anything.
Flat out. He knew COVID was going to be here before I was here. I'm 40 years old.
No doubt.
So he knew it was going to be here when I hit 40.
Yeah.
And he knew I was going to catch it. He knew I was going to clear it. And if he wanted to be the death of me, then that was my story. And my story's been written.
Now let me ask you a question. Did you think that living through this pandemic that blacks and whites in America would be able to come together? Did you ever think like we have another threat or something that's attacking us so that we would come together? Or what were you thinking there?
I don't have no thoughts on that. I don't see race.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, because like the
I
cop
don't see
killing,
race.
to be in a pandemic and to have a cop killing, that was like a smack in the face to the black community. I mean, we're in this pandemic. The furthest thing we should be worried about is, who's selling some single cigarettes or who shoplifted out of Family Dollar or had some counterfeit, money. Was that like a slap in the face to this pandemic and to what we were trying to accomplish as a people?
That's normal life.
So you feel like the pandemic didn't
It-
take from that or add to that?
It didn't. No, I don't. My personal, I don't.
Yeah. What do you think about people having like social or mental disorders and anxiety because of the quarantine? What do you think about that? Like people having to just be in the house that aren't used to that.
I see a therapist every 2 weeks. I ain't even gonna lie. I see my therapist every 2 weeks because I'm fucked up.
Do you talk? What do you talk about? COVID? You talk
And
about
we
the
talk
pandemic?
about everything. We talk about COVID. We talk about racial injustice. And my therapist is a white 49, 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
And we talk about
We're talking about
everything.
the
And I see
COVID-19,
my
man. We're
therapist.
just trying to get the message out there. We're trying to give a little bit more awareness to it.
It's real.
It's real. Tiff, how long were you sick?
Almost 2 months.
So give me an approximate date that you got sick and approximate date that you either returned to work or start feeling better.
I was sick I realized I was sick. Thanksgiving was November 25th. So I would say by November 28th, I was diagnosed sick. And once I went to see my doctor, I was not released back to work until the beginning of January.
How did you survive? How did you pay your bills? How did you keep your car together? How did you make it through this? Because it's more than just being sick. It's other stuff that
It's
you can't do.
it's everything.
How'd you survive?
But luckily, I have a good job, and I had vacation. I had sick time, and I made it work.
Were there any programs that you
But
reached out to? Or
I
reached out to you?
also had to I also had to go back to the old school times and searching for programs that help. And trust me, I ain't been there in a lifetime.
Yeah, because I know you get I know they gave food stamps. They gave some. The Urban League gave some money if you qualified.
I ain't getting none of that. I applied for all of it, but
You didn't get any of it.
I didn't get any of it.
Did you? Did they give you a reason, a clear reason, or?
Nope. They just keep, even to this day, they keep telling me they're waiting on the funds.
Okay.
So
And I know another young lady that had tried. She got sick and she said she couldn't get it either.
yeah, so I don't know what's going on. They say it's all these funds out here or whatever for rental assistance, food assistance, but the system doesn't the system doesn't work for single people. The system works for
Women who have babies.
women who have babies.
Yeah.
I don't have any babies. So the system, and I can pay all my money in the world to the system.
And you're a taxpayer, and you feel like
Faithful.
you feel like we left you behind in
And
this.
they definitely leave me behind. It does not work for me. The system does not work for single people without children.
What medicine did you take out? You told me kale. Was there any other things that you did to,
I made kale smoothies because in my research of my job, kale is a superfood.
Okay.
And so I made plenty of kale smoothies with different fruits and stuff. And I tried to eat very healthy, eat lots of fruits and vegetables, drink lots of water.
Yeah.
But the main thing that you needed to do with COVID-19 is drink hot stuff.
A lot of warm stuff.
Lots of warm stuff. And I'm not a tea person.
Is that for the
It's
like
to
to
open
lubricate
your
the
lungs. Yes, it's to open your lungs.
Okay.
I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not a tea drinker. I'm not a hot stuff. I drink Pepsi.
Yeah.
I need an ice cold 44-ounce Pepsi.
Mm.
But I had to drink lots of hot stuff while I was sick. And I can tell you one thing that really worked well with me is my brother Tommy.
Write this down, please. The purpose for time. Very important. The value of life is not in its duration, but its donation. You are not important because of how long you live. You are important because of how effective you live. And most people are so concerned about growing old rather than being effective. The people who have impacted the world didn't live long.
Reaper, don't come for me. Trying to own my own company. Sit back and live comfortably. Know what you want from me, not what you want from me. Reaper, don't come for me. Trying to own my own company. Sit back and live comfortably. Know what you want from me, not what you want from me. I know God got me, no.